Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, March 22nd. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, and being caffeinated, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram. Please go follow me over on there. I am the most active there. Share all the things, all the important things, post all the pictures, all that jazz. So please go follow me over there. I also have show notes. Links to things that I'll be talking about will be in the show notes, which are on my blog. So if you're on my blog, everything is already there, but if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below, and all the other things as well. I do have a lot to talk about. It was a very unexpectedly productive in regards to knitting week, which I'm not complaining, and we have some very funny stories to talk about today. So without further ado, we'll just go ahead and get into it. I have an iced coffee today, or a nice latte, I should say, because whatever, it's iced and it's coffee of some form. And so if you want to go grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, whatever brings you joy. Maybe you're just chilling. That's also good and very important. And you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. Oh yeah, that's good. So everyone, where do we begin? I don't know. I just realized that I forgot to put on my rings, so I have no rings today, but I do wear them normally. I just forgot to put them back on. There's a storm rolling in, and the pollen has been insane, and my allergies today are not fun. So yes, if I sound a little congested, that's why. Fun times, that's just part of life. We have sinuses, we have sinus headaches, we have weather headaches, and then we have just all of it on top of each other. So we fix it all by drinking iced coffee and recording this podcast and just enjoying knitting and being creative, because that is what I love to do, and that is what is important. So I actually have not one, not two, but three, not six, but three finished objects to show you. What? One of them was done last week, but was blocking at the time, so I can show that to you now. I finished something else, and then I very spontaneously finished something over the weekend. Cast on and finished, but we'll get into that story later, because I feel like that is a story in and of itself of some form. It's not a super long story and it's not really that exciting, but I think it's something funny to talk about. So we will discuss this one first because it is on the top, and this is my Urban Adventure sweater by Sari Nordlund, and this pattern has not come out quite yet. She just posted that it was coming out soon today on Monday. So I'm not sure when exactly that is going to be, but keep an eye out. You can keep an eye out on my page. I'll be posting my finished object pictures when it goes live. And obviously you can follow her, which I would highly, highly recommend, because she has the most beautiful patterns out there. This is a worsted weight colorwork top-down yoked sweater, all the words, all the adjectives. I used Cascade Eco Wool as my orange. I used, what am I trying to say? Broco Ultra Alpaca as my light gray, and I used Knit Picks Wool Bandies as my dark gray. And I did mention last week, I am now remembering it, going over this, that I said I was going to talk about it this episode, of how I messed up my colors. My colors don't look like everybody else's, and it's because I switched them on the chart, which I have. This is not the first time I've told this story in regards to this sweater, but it's a completely different situation because it was the entire chart, not just the one section. Which, that is my fault. But, so I created a different look. It's still the same pattern, but it just doesn't look quite like everybody else's. But I still love it. I still think it looks great. I talked to the designer and she said that it was fine to leave it if I liked it. That was all that really mattered to her. So I was a little mad at myself when I found that out. I was not a little, I was rather upset with myself when I found out, or figured it out, because I was a little confused. And at the time when I figured it out, I was working on my second sleeve. But what can you do? It's okay. I still love it. I am still so excited to be able to wear this. Not necessarily here in Houston right now because it's currently in the 80s. But, you know, those cold mornings, they do exist. The cold evenings, air conditioning. Going to places that it is colder, and everything. So this was so much fun to knit. I would highly recommend you getting a copy of this pattern when it comes out. And again, just keep your eyes peeled for when that does come out. On Instagram is mainly really where I would suggest you keep your eyes peeled for. And this is just super wonderful. I had so much fun knitting this. It was, yeah, it was oddly enough, a learning experience. I wasn't expecting to learn too much through this, but that's okay. I need to update my project page, but other than that, this is pretty much done. Oh, I need to take finished object pictures too. That's very important, but it hasn't come out yet, so, you know. So next up, for my second finished object, everyone, look what I finished. It is done, and it's not blocked, even though I finished it about a week ago. But, oh my goodness, I love how it fits. Like, I could not be more happy with how it fits. It fits so well. I've said this before, I've said this a lot recently because the Urban Adventure, mine is very of a swancho-y fit. Not like a swan, it's not exactly like a swancho fit, but it's similar. And so this is the ultimate swancho fit, and I love it so much. I used Malabrigo Washed in the Plomo colorway as my main color, and then I used Noro Silk Garden Light as my contrasting color. And we love a good Noro. We love a good Noro moment. Just created a beautiful, beautiful sweater, and I almost lost a game of yarn chicken to this sweater again. Which, if you've been watching for a while, when I started this, I was pretty sure that I had enough of my main color. It turns out I didn't. I just needed to order one more skein, and I had maybe that much left of the second skein that I had ordered in addition, and I just must not have calculated any of the yardage correctly. I was not paying attention. Thankfully I was able to make it work, but oh my goodness, I was really worried for a minute. And like, if it had been on the bottom, it would have been fine if I'd used something else, but like, it was on my sleeve, and like, that's, I'm doing this down here and you can't see it, but it would have been like around this area, which I feel like would have been very apparent to me. And I'm sure no one would have really noticed, but like, I was not having already run out of yarn and already waited and ordered more yarn, and then that yarn got postponed by some snow apocalypse that came through and destroyed Texas, and then I had to wait longer for the yarn, and I was not about to lose that game of yarn chicken, and I did not. So thankfully I did shorten the ribbing on both sleeves, not on purpose, well, purposefully on the first one, but then I was like really like, okay, well, do I even have to really match the other sleeve? I could just be a couple off and no one would know. But I didn't. I still made it through, which is really great. And there's a big decrease round right before you cast off. So that was also very helpful in my yarn chicken life, because obviously when you decrease, you're using less yarn and you have less stitches to decrease. So I think that definitely helped. If I had not done that, I probably wouldn't have made it. It would have been really, really close. I was very worried, but I didn't have to be worried because it turned out all fine. You're probably wondering, what is this beautiful pattern? And I will tell you, it is the Old World sweater by Lily of Wishbone Yarns and Designs. She has so many beautiful colorwork sweaters that are very similar to this, but very uniquely, beautifully them. She doesn't have a bunch of sweaters that look the same. That's not what I'm saying. But they're very similar in that they have very unique colorwork that you can be creative with. Use Noro, not use Noro, whatever you so desire. And I'm so excited to have this finished. And it needs to be blocked. And I need to take pictures of it. And again, looking forward to being able to wear it. Not now, because again, I've already said it's 80 degrees and you know. But again, cold mornings, cold evenings, air conditioning, going to places where it is cold. I really need to block this. I'm very excited to see this blocked, and just see the color work really open up and soften, and I really just cannot wait to take pictures of this because I think it's going to photograph very well, as will my urban adventure. So we just have, actually, you know what, I have my yarn chicken amount here on my sleeve because I didn't cut it. So it was a little bit longer than what I said. That's all I had left. This is all I had left. You know, it was a struggle, but I did do it. I did win that game of yarn chicken, and I'm proud of it. It's been a while since I played yarn chicken. Also, I'm sorry if you're not a knitter. If you're not a knitter, I really appreciate you watching this podcast because I know that this is mainly what I talk about. But if you were not a knitter and you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to when I say yarn chicken, it's basically like playing the game of chicken, but with yarn. So you're just kind of racing against yourself to see if you'll be able to squeak out those last few stitches and rows with the little bit of yarn that you have left. And sometimes you win and it's great, and sometimes you lose. And then you have to get really creative trying to find things that will blend in your stash. Or if that's not possible to find, or if you just don't want to deal with that, then you rip it all out. Or not all of it out, but you, like, maybe if you're casting off, you'll rip out your cast off, and maybe a couple rows to give you some extra yardage, and then you can do your cast off with enough yarn. And oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever done that, mainly because I'm at that point, I'm like, I'm not ripping this out. I am finding something that will work. Which, like, I mean, for the most part, I'm probably gonna be able to find something. I have yarn everywhere. I have yarn for pretty much all the things. Except for that one project that whenever I want to make it, I never have the yarn for it, and so then I have to order more yarn. But we're working with that this year, you know? We are working, not against it, but we're working with it in order to be creative and use the things that I have well. You know? Does that make sense? I think it does. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, so, everyone. The Urban Adventure was my last test knit that I had on my needles, and I cast it off. Oh, I also had the Over the Universe cowl for Susan that I had finished, and once I had those done, I had no tests on my needles, and which was enabled me to get my Old World sweater done. And I did tell you last week that I was going to take a break from testing. I wasn't going to have any tests. It was going to be a break. Just repeat myself so many times in various forms. And Thursday rolled around. It may have been Wednesday. I don't actually remember. But there was a very cute picture that came across my Instagram feed, and it was a test call, and I couldn't say no. Let me show you this picture. This is by Rachel Knits Things, or Rachel Kurihara on Instagram. Did I say that? On Instagram. This is her picture, and it is just so cute. And I saw this and I was like, I must. So this is her picture. I think I can get it to focus. So you can see this is a very cute little crop top that she has knit. It's got embroidered daisies on it, and it is called the Lazy Daisy Crop. So I very quickly put my name in. I filled out her little form. Found out I got it a couple days later. On Thursday, I think. On Thursday, wound up my yarn. Yes, it was Thursday, because I wound up my yarn while I was participating in my church's women's Zoom Bible study. And I get cast on during that time. And then just piddled along on it and resulted in this crop top, which is now done. Minus the embroidery, which I'm going to do. My eye's itchy. Oh, that's... Woo. And it smells good. Because I washed it in my lavender apple soap. Oh my goodness. Also, can I just say, I love the fact that people went and bought Tuft woolen soap. I think that is just so amazing, and I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you love all the scents, or the scent that you got, or if you get multiple scents. I cannot even with their scents. They have such creative ideas, and it's just so hard to pick. And it's it's a bar of soap, so it lasts for forever, so it's not like you can go through it really quickly unless you're blocking things or washing things or whatever all the time. So everyone, this is the first little croppy top that I've ever made. And I have I-cord straps. It's cropped, as I've said. We have twisted rib at the bottom. We've got a little bit of a garter stitch edge up at the top around the neckline. We've got twisted rib on the back as well. Yeah, I am so happy with this, and I knit this in 3 days. So now I don't have any more tests on my needles. So I feel like that has, I relatively kept my promise. I still don't have any tests on my needles because I just finished this. And I'm so excited with this. I did try this on earlier, and I need to figure out how to, my strap situation, because I believe they blocked a little too much. They grew too much in my blocking process, which I should have been more aware of, and knew that was going to be an issue, but I know pretty much how I'm going to do it. So also, can we even, with this beautiful spring color. This is a colorway by my friend Heather of Heather Handmaids. I did a test knit for her earlier this year. You may remember I used her Toasted Marshmallow colorway, but this colorway is called New Growth, and I think she came out with this color sometime last year. in the summertime, I think. Because when I got this, it was relatively new, if I remember correctly, because I remember talking to her about it. Anyway, like I can't even, and it smells so good. I have so many ideas for colors to use for the little daisies. I have some fun pinks that I might try. I have some fun purples. I have a fun like mustardy color that would be really pretty. I have a dark blue that would be really pretty. Obviously that wouldn't be a daisy. Excuse me, that wouldn't be a daisy then necessarily, but it's a flower of some sort. And I just can't. It just turned out the perfect like springy color, and I cannot wait to wear this. And I can wear this because it is 80 degrees. You know? And now that I'm saying this, I think it might actually be colder or more cool than just 80 degrees. Shall we look? Oh, it says it's 73, so not quite 80. But I believe it is warmer because it is very humid. Yes. Feels like 76. So I was close. Not quite 80. 76, 73, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so this is great. Perfect for those single skeins. I knit the size, I don't remember which, I believe it's the large, which gave me 2 or 3 inches of positive ease. I don't remember what the sizes were exactly, but I still have a good amount left over of my one skein. So depending on what size you make, you could very easily, and I could even see, also I added length to this as well. I added an extra inch. So even with me adding an extra inch, I need to weigh my skein, but I probably have 20-ish grams left. So very, very doable with one skein or a skein and a half, or depending on what size you want to make. I love that this is got positive ease. I would also really like to make one that has less ease than this, but not too much more. Does that make sense? I am so happy with how this turned out, and I'm so excited to experiment with embroidery on my knitting. That has been something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and my time is now. I've just been putting it off because I've been working on other things, but now like I have an actual reason to, and it blocked out so nicely, and like the colors, can you even with these colors? The lighting is currently very, very accurate, so this is very happy. It's just so beautiful. So please go check out Rachel's patterns and her Instagram because she has the cutest Instagram feed. It's just very bright and happy, and I love it. And also go check out Heather of Heather Handmaids and her yarns as well because she's got awesome stuff. Love it. Love it, love it. So that was my testing adventure that lasted 3 days, and I'm now once again test free. So that is very exciting. So next up, for things that I have been knitting on, I have my sock bag, and I'm going to show you what I have done. I have cast on. I haven't even joined it around, but you know, baby steps. Baby steps, you know. Don't even remember what day I did this on. I've cast it on. I just haven't joined it in the round and starting my knitting on it yet. These are, this is my second sock. I do have the first one done. This is the Basic Bee by Summer Lee. And she has a shorty sock collection, which is where I've gotten this pattern from, and I would highly recommend that collection or any of her sock patterns because they're very well written. And I am striping mine. So This will be my these will be my March socks. So I need to really get on it because it's March 22nd already. I need to, yeah, you know, need to get on that. Next up, I worked on this very briefly. Yesterday, I just randomly pulled this out. It was in my bag of stuff in rotation, and this would be a majorly languishing whip. But, you know, it's really okay. This is my Seabogger sweater, and if I hold this up, it will not look like anything. It will not look like anything. So I don't really know how to show this to you. It's also very tangled. It's another struggle I've had with this project in particular, that I find things get tangled very easily. I don't know why that is. Okay, just want to make sure I wasn't pulling out stitches. This is the Seabogger sweater by Kate Davies. I'm using Knit Picks Tweed Stroll Tweed in the Rabbit colorway and the Farmhouse colorway. I think that is correct. It's striped all the way down. We have some dolman sleeves, which is why it is wider up at the top than it is at the bottom. This has been on my needles for, it will be 2 years in May, I believe. So I'd really like to have it done before then, but it hasn't been high on my priority list. I am still very excited to wear this and to have it. And it's very mindless, and I was reading a lot yesterday, so I just wanted something mindless that would also be a languishing whip. So this is what I pulled out. We will continue to make progress. I'm definitely on the downward hill slope because I'm working on the back. The front is done, or it's the opposite way around. Either way, I have one left, and then I have the sleeves, and the sleeves are significantly shorter because of how far down the drop shoulder goes. I think it goes down pretty far, maybe to elbow length, which would just then leave from here to here, excuse me, for a sleeve. Does that make sense? And I honestly don't know if that is 100% the case, but I know it is not a full sleeve from here to here to here. It's not that type of a sleeve. And depending on my yarn, I may add thumb holes, because we do love a good thumb hole, you know, we do indeed. And now that I've done that before, and I love it, so this is just plugging along. This has no pressure. This is literally just pulling it out to work on it and be mindless and try not to get things tangled, because goodness gracious, this gets so tangled, and I don't know why. I do not know why. It's very weird. I know it's probably because I'm striping things and, like, I don't know. I remember at the beginning I was knitting from the balls that I had gotten from Knit Picks, and for some reason they were completely falling apart. And by falling apart I mean like they were not staying together. The yarn was like sliding off. It was getting so intensely tangled, and it was so frustrating. And so after a while I was just like, I cannot handle this. I am done. So I wound them up into cakes, and that has been so much better. Thankfully that they have stayed together. I think it's because it's a little bit more of a slick yarn. It's not like, I feel very odd describing yarn as slick, but it's just very smooth, and it's very, like, it doesn't have a ton of grip on itself. So I think when it was wrapped up or wound up into a ball opposed to a cake, something about it was just not staying together. So I'm glad I did that, because it just saved me a lot of angst and frustration, because that was not a fun time. But now we're plugging along, making good progress. Got some books coming up that need to be read, so it's all good things. Next up, I did have a chance to work a little bit on my nephew's Penguino. I did tell you I've been very productive this past week, which is really great. I think I will be able to see him in April, which I would be very excited to see him and get to give him his birthday presents, because his birthday was in February, a couple days after mine, and we were not able to do the things we had planned, and that's okay. But here is his little Penguino, and I am trucking along. I randomly picked this up. I think it was last week, Monday night, actually. For some reason, I like tidied the apartment like I normally would and just was like, I'm gonna work on my Penguino. I don't know why, but I just feel very led to work on the Penguino. So I got like the almost the entire side done. I'm still plugging along on this, and this will start decreasing to be the front, and then that one front, that whole side will be done, which is very exciting, and then I'll go back and do the same thing on this side. But I am so happy with how this is turning out. I think it is so much fun. I'm using mostly solids. I did have a variegated color in here at some point. I don't think you can really see it, but it's just right there. I was holding two colors together to create a marled effect, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. We are using up all the scraps. It is awesome. This is all machine washable, of course, because I want my sister-in-law to be able to wash it easily, because Jonas is 3. And I know this looks very big for a 3-year-old, but he is very tall, and I want him to grow into it. So I am so excited about this. I think this is super fun, super exciting, and again, this is the Penguino by Stephen West. This is the child's version. There is an adult version, which, yes, I know I need to finish Sam's Penguino, and I feel bad about it, because I said I'd finish it in February. Now March is almost done. So I need to, I keep doing that. Why do I keep doing it today? I don't know. That needs to be pulled out and worked on for sure, because it needs to get done. So not very much progress in the grand scheme of things, but I did work on it, so I do want to show it because I hadn't shown it in a while. But I am very excited about how that is going. And yes, also I would like to share, this is a grocery bag that holds my Scoobies. And I got a question of where I got my Scoobies, and I did get them from Amazon. I got them as a Christmas present, and I honestly don't know what the listing was. I don't think I can find it anymore, but if you cannot find them, it is probably because you may not know what the spelling is, and the spelling is very, very odd, and it is French. But these are wonderful. But basically what they are is that they are these plastic tubes. They are hollow inside, which makes it very easy then to stick your knitting needles on the ends. They just go inside the tube, and then you can slip stitches off super, super easily. There's no fiddling with a tapestry needle or anything like that. It's super awesome. Also makes trying on things very, very convenient. And like I talked about last week, I didn't want to take the time to try things on, and having Scoobies makes things so much easier. So if you are wanting to find them, they definitely have them on Amazon. I'm sure they have them other places as well. But it is spelled Scoubidous. Scooby-Doos. So it sounds like the dog, Scooby-Doo. But it is not Scooby-Doo. It is Scooby-Doo. Not the dog. Does that make sense? Was that even funny? I don't know, but I thought that was funny, so I'm gonna leave it in. I would highly recommend them. They are very, very inexpensive, and they come, obviously, they come in a bazillion colors. They are made for, like, making friendship bracelets, so you'll probably get, like, little lanyard, ring things in the set to make, like, keychains and friendship bracelets and stuff like that. But little did they know that this could also be a very useful knitting tool accessory. And I have this just laying around. I know it's not a very attractive bag. It's an HEB bag. But whenever I am working on specifically Penguino stuff, I always leave the bag in there because I know I'm going to need it. But if I'm not, then it's just in the bin thing where, like, my languishing lips are and my needles are. So there you have it. That is important information. And finally, I can't think if I've worked on anything else. So now we have this wonderful beauty of color. That is amazing. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. It is so pretty. Oh man. I've got one wedge and a little bit, like an eighth of a wedge left. And then the border. I'm so excited. This is my Dotted Rays by Stephen West. We love a good Stephen West pattern, you know. And I'm using my Pineapple Yarns Advent calendar from this past year to make this gorgeous work of art. I just can't even. Like, and we're not even done yet. We're not even done. So I have this one that I'm currently knitting off of, and then I have this guy, and then I believe I have 3 more. I have a separate bag in here that was holding my minis in order. Yeah, I've got 3 more. So my plan is, because I have 1 full wedge and the border left, and I have 4 of these minis left, is to kind of rearrange, because I had been putting 3 minis in a wedge before, and I am still working. This is my 2nd mini, and I'm almost done with this wedge that I'm working on, so this would be left over from that wedge, but then I can put it towards the last wedge, which is going to be like the biggest behemoth of a wedge, and whatever does not get used in that wedge will go towards the chevron border. And then if for whatever reason, if I don't have enough yarn in the minis, I can go back to all the other minis that I have still available, that are similar colors, or not even similar colors. I may just, like, stripe it and have fun. And then I'm also going to throw this guy in there, which is Long Dog Yarns in the Sea Glass colorway on her mohair. And I am so excited. I really love working on this. It brings me such joy. And, excuse me. Ooh, is it nap time? I think it might be nap time. No, we don't have time for nap time today. We've got to get going. We've got things to do. Laundry to fold. I was talking about this with my mom earlier this week, because she's also been working on hers. And, there's something about this pattern and this yarn that, like, I don't know. It's like, I keep saying it brings me joy, and I wish, like, there's another way to say that, but it just, it's joyful. My mom described it as it being very energetic, which I think is very accurate. I feel like these yarns are very energy, bringing. I say that as I yawn, but like, you know what I mean. This is just very super, super happy. And I would also say that like it's very, working on this project is very calming for me. It's just very like relaxing, and just if I don't want to worry about it, or like I don't want to think about it, or if I just want to like be in Zen mode, I'll knit on this. And now like it's just always just so relaxing, and I love it so much. And I've just really loved working on this, and I'm also very proud of myself for like not putting pressure on myself to get it done within the month of December, because that was just not possible. And that's okay. That's fine. I mean, we can bring any form of celebration, we can lengthen any form of celebration into however long we want it to be. We don't even need a reason to celebrate. We can just be happy and celebrate random things, the little joys in life. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm also excited to be able to wear this, especially now that spring and summer is coming. I will still wear this any time of year. Doesn't matter. We'll wear it any time of the year, but like these are the best spring and summer colors. I'm so excited. I'm still trying to figure out, I know I've discussed this before, but I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to do, or if I want to do any form of like tassels or pom-poms. Again, in discussing it with my mom, we had both thought of the idea to put small pom-poms, make pom-poms, how many times can you say pom-poms? 10 times fast. Put those on the points of the chevron, because you are creating a chevron and there will be points of some form. So it'll be very similar to my Starflake shawl, mystery knit along, that I did 2 years ago. Not this past October, but the October before. So 2 Octobers ago. 1 October ago? Whatever. 2019. And I put pom-poms on the points of the stars, and I was inspired by one that I'd seen on Instagram, and it was just so cute, and I loved how that turned out. So I think I might do that. I will definitely have to see how it looks after it's all blocked, because there's a very good chance once it's blocked it will just be too big. It will not need any more. It may not need any more fun and pizzazz, because it is literally all fun and pizzazz, and I am so excited about it, and I cannot wait to wear it, and I can't wait to take pictures of it. I'm so excited. So that is that project, which is all the projects that I've worked on this week. So I got quite a bit done, and I'm proud of myself. Even if I didn't join that sock in the round, I did cast it on, so. But I'm not going to get behind. I'm not going to get behind. I will continue on with my sock progress. It's both a process and a progress of knitting 12 pairs of socks this year. 1 per month. And I made it through January and February, so I'm going to make it through March. I hope. It'll be fine. It will be fine. So I think there is a storm rolling in, which is why it has gotten much darker. But I'm not complaining, because hopefully that means relief in the pressure and weather headaches, you know? So that is all the knitting that I've done for this week. I know that now that I have no more tests on my needles, that was a weird laugh, but that's okay. You know, I'm just gonna roll with it. What am I saying? What am I saying? I have no more tests. Yes, I did do a spontaneous test in between. That's still done. I still have no more tests on my needles. I'm going to reassess what projects I have. I think it's still between, for a fun cast on, will be between the Cruiser cardigan by Skein Yarn and the Floriste cardigan by Nordlund, who did my urban adventure. for casting on purposes. Excuse me, that was very unnecessary. Because when I figured that out, I figured out a lot of things. When I was looking at my projects and what I had on my needles and the things that I was currently working on in rotation, most of them, there were fewer sweaters and there were more shawls. And so I thought that it would be better to cast on another sweater now that I finished 3 of them. Which is really great. I know I do have my Seabogger, and there are definitely other sweaters that I have on my needles currently, but you know, I'm going to treat myself. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I would like it to happen sometime this week, so I need to figure that out. And who knows, maybe I'll have a new cast on for next week. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But besides that is all that I have for you guys for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, spending time with me, listening to me ramble and rant and talk about all the things and laugh at my own jokes. No shame. I just am very funny. I think I'm so funny. I don't actually. I just make myself laugh in the corniness of it all. I don't know. I hope you are entertained. That's really the main point here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I have social medias, show notes, places you can follow me. If you want to say hi, feel free to do so. I love hearing from you guys and just chatting. You don't have to have a question. You can just chat whatever you want. It's fine. And yes, so we had to finish objects. I don't know if we'll have any finished objects next week. You know, I know that I'm getting very close to being done with this dotted rays, but I'm not going to press myself to finish that this week. I feel like that would be a lot. I'm getting kind of overwhelmed just thinking about it. But you know what? This is not the point of this project. The point of this project is not just to like whip through it and get it done. The point of this project is to be calm and relaxed and to have joy in the project itself, because it is being creative. That is what we were built for, to be creative and other things, but also to be creative. And so I'm just gonna enjoy and bask in this moment of this project of being slow and not pushing myself to go too fast, because I don't want to rush through it. This is really enjoy the process, you know. And I might work on that sock. You know, I do need to work on that. I hope you had a wonderful week and weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they're successful. All my crafty plans moving forward with all the current things, maybe casting something new on, which would be very exciting. I have yet to figure that out. I need to reassess. You know, assessing things is very important. And just seeing what all is there, you know, that is very important. I've said that too many times. We know things are important. We get it. So yes. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Sorry, we're just like really losing steam at the end of this episode. I don't know. Is that rain? No, that was just a lot of wind and a car driving by. It's just a matter of time. I feel like it's about to, the heavens are about to break open and all the rain is gonna come down. It's very dark. Anyway, this is nothing to do with podcast, and my SD card is almost full. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. You are wonderful. I hope you have good, crafty adventures this week, and I hope that they are successful. And with that, I will see you guys next week. Bye.